cry for me. Focus question. What is Lalaith's role in the story? Before the Conjurer's War, the kingdom of Valin had been a happy place. After the war, the young Queen Nair was left to rule a land filled with widespread sorrow. She traveled the kingdom to comfort her people, gently wiping away their tears with beautiful handkerchiefs. She was especially gentle with the children, having lost her own mother, Queen Mater. She felt their woe. Time went on. Children born in peacetime brought joy. Sadness faded into memory. People slowly grew happy again. Valin gradually, quietly rebuilt itself. Then, on the Queen's 17th birthday, the doors to the palace opened in the middle of the night. People heard the scraping of cloth on stone, but they saw nothing. That was the last night of peaceful sleep for Valin's children. Queen Nair no longer left the palace to see her people. 10 years later, a young girl named Lalaith was sitting in the darkness of her brother Pegweg's room. She was watching for something, though she didn't know that. Every few moments, Pegweg would snort or mumble something in his sleep, and she had no hold back a giggle. For 10 years, the children of Valin had experienced tearful nightmares every night, all except Lalaith, while other children tossed, turned, and wept in their sleep. While Lalaith slumbered quietly, no one, least of all Lalaith, knew why she wasn't plagued by the same terrors. Pegweg had an idea that something was causing the dreams. Others in the kingdom had watched children sleep in the past and learned nothing. Pegweg thought it might be different with Lalaith watching, though. Because she didn't have the dreams herself, she had agreed to help, if only because she owed him for milking the cows that morning so she could sleep late. Lalaith lifted the cover on the lamp to make sure it was still lit. A small ring of yellow light appeared, and she dropped the cover. Hours later, Lalaith was fighting off sleep when she heard a faint scraping sound. It started across the room, near the open window. Something was moving. She held her breath and waited. The scratching moved closer and closer, and then it stopped. Pegweg's bed braked. Lalaith tore the cover of the lamp. Blinding light fills the room. Something black disappeared through the window. In its hurry, the thing dropped a small piece of fabric. She grabbed it as she ran across the room. Outside, it took only a few steps for her to realize she would never find the creature in the darkness. Then she heard the scrapping again. This time, though, it was all around her. Things moved in the blackness. Suddenly, everything disappeared, and she felt strong claws grabbing her and lifting her up. At their touch, she felt more tired than she ever had before. In moments, she was asleep. Lalaith awoke on a cold floor. A great hall of polished stone stretched before her, with burning torches set into all pillars. A woman in a deep blue gown sat on a throne. On her head rested a crown of black metal and dark violet stones. Her face was sunken. Dark circles surrounded her eyes. She looked sad and tired. "You," the woman hissed. Her voice was dry, like something grabbing in dark, a dragging in dark. "My creatures have told me of you." With the last word, Lalaith heard chittering the scrapping from the darkness around her. "Those creatures are yours?" Lalaith asked. "Bow before your queen," the woman snapped. Lalaith gasped and bowed. This was Queen Nair? What had happened to her? "Your Highness, Words failed Lalaith. Don't speak! The queen's voice had dropped down to a rasp. You are different from the other children. You do not weep at night. Perhaps you have royal blood, or you come from the line of conjurers. Lalaith tried to explain why she was only a peasant girl who helped her parents on their small farm. No matter, the queen interrupted. You will never leave this place. The queen raised her hand. Into the darkness around the edges of the hole, things began to move. They crawled and scrabbling around each other into the light, towered Lalaith. Lalaith gasped. In the darkness, the creatures had been fighting, but now that Lalaith could see them clearly. They looked ridiculous. They were thin and covered with dark fur, except for one spot in their round bellies. Their fearsome claws made them waddle like the fat chickens on her parents' farm. Their large black eyes made her think of her puppy's face when he knew he'd done something bad. Lalaith couldn't help herself. She began to snicker, then giggle, then howl with laughter. She was laughing so hard she was crying. The fabric she found on Pegweg's bedroom floor was still in her hand. She used it to dry her tears. One of the creatures darted from the crowd and snatched the handkerchief. It scrambled to the queen and offered the cloth to her with a bow. Queen Nair dropped the fabric into a bowl of dark liquid that started to bubble. With shaking hands, she brought the bowl to her lips and drank. Slowly, she began to stand up. Her face brightened and softened until a beautiful woman stood before Lalaith. After a few moments, Queen Nair gave her a smile. I need to tell you a tale, she said. The queen told Lalaith how, before their defeat, the conjurers had surrounded control of their creatures but cursed her at the same time. The queen had to drink a potion made with children's tears each day, or she would die. To make matters worse, if the queen had any children, the curse would pass down to them. For some time after the war, people were still suffering. It was easy to get the children's tears I needed simply by comforting them. The queen explained. As the sadness from the war faded, though, I grew desperate. I used my creatures to spend the children bad dreams, so I could keep them from suffering in a real world. The potion was made from tears of fear and sadness, though, so it changed me. I am so sorry. I never thought to try tears of joy. The curse made me give up hope. I decided to have no children so as not to pass on the curse. I am the last of a royal line, said the queen sadly. The queen had tears on her own cheeks now. Your joyous tears are far more powerful than tears of sadness, however. They have turned this curse into a blessing, the queen said. From that day forward, Queen Nair had her creatures bring joyful dreams to all the children in her kingdom. Lalaith and the queen became friends. They often traveled across Valin together. Where once the queen had brought comfort from sorrow, she now brought the joy of laughter. When anyone, especially children, wept with joy, Queen Nair was there to dry their tears. When she grew one, Queen Nair named Lalaith her heir to the throne. That is how a brave, pleasant farm girl helped a queen avoid the worst aspects of a curse and became a queen herself.